Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week from Rockdale, the midweek report. Glad to have all of you here tonight. So, sorry for being a little late. I was having difficulties logging in. Every time I come to try to log in from the home studio, it refuses to let me come in. I got to change the password and all that nonsense. And then when I go back to the office, change the password there. Clayton, I was going to do it at 8 o'clock tonight because I got some things I'm going to do and I'm going to be traveling tomorrow. So I wanted to do the show a little earlier tonight, try to do it from 8 to 8:30. But like I said, I was unable to log in and I had to reset everything and recalibrate. And you know how that goes. So let me say some hellos to some people this evening. Kathy Robinson, good evening. Kathy Word, good evening. Clayton Orwig, good evening. William Campbell, good evening. Marie Withers, good evening. I hope the sound and the video are all okay. I've not streamed from the home studio often here lately. My signals look good. Hope everything's looking good. Catherine Lynn has joined us and Charlotte Geller. Good evening, Catherine and Charlotte. Nice to have you here this evening also. Um, you know, uh, I told you guys, if something happened, newsworthy, couple things I think are newsworthy. Thanks, Bill Campbell, for letting me know it sounds good. So, first thing I want to let you know is we had the runoff elections and such yesterday, and Janie Jones defeated Tony Dowdy for the um, Board of Education seat. So we're going to see how that goes. So Janie will take office in January, and we'll see how the board goes with her on the board. And then in 2 years in 24, really would love to see some new blood on that board. Love to see those five incumbents. At least three or four of them probably will run for reelection. Love to see five challengers challenge that school board and run on a uniform platform of change and resetting Rockdale. So we'll see what happens with that. That'll be interesting. Tony Dowdy was basically an incumbent, former two-term member, and was soundly defeated by the challenger. I think the people in Rockdale are asking for something to happen. This coming Sunday, I'm going to talk about homestead exemption. Uh, that I believe that should expand um, to the Board of Education property tax, and I think seniors should start being exempt from property taxes. And what I'm going to do is we're going to actually ask you, the citizens, to work with us to actually rally our state legislature to pass legislation to do that statewide. My former home state of West Virginia, they actually did that. The state legislature actually implemented the homestead exemption for seniors. Before my mother passed away, I think from the time she was 70 years old till she passed away at 85, my mother was 100% tax exempt. So my mom paid, no property taxes. She was on a fixed income. She got Social Security and black lung benefits. And that really helped my mother not having to pay property taxes. She was also disabled herself. She was a lung cancer survivor. My mother got lung cancer when she was 56 years old. She had to have a lung removed and such, and she actually lived, all that time from 56 to 85 with one lung, and she lived a vibrant, good life. Like that. So, and one of the things that helped her was not having to pay property tax as a senior citizen. Um, so I would think that would be a great thing. Uh, did that. So I mean, let's see about approaching our legislature and saying, hey, let's make some things happen on the statewide level. Let's put some pressure on these folks. Danielle Munoz, good evening. Glad to have you on this week from Rockdale, the midweek edition. And I've just been talking about the Board of Education and seniors deserving property tax exemption. And that may mean they need to be creative with how they fund the school system from now on. It may mean that children of wealthier parents, they may need to maybe pay something. Uh, you don't qualify for books or something. I mean, we need to be creative about how we move forward with education, because I don't think we need to further burden the senior citizens. After they reach a certain age, I don't think they should be responsible for those taxes, and I don't think someone should have to pay taxes on something they supposedly own their whole life, because if you don't pay taxes, then you don't keep the property. So do you ever really own the land? At some point, I think citizens in this country, we should not have to pay taxes on our property. I think at a certain age, you're done. You have paid your amount. You've done your duties, and it's time for the younger generation to do theirs. That's my opinion about it. It's what I would like to see. Uh, that's what I think. So, you know, just what I would like to see. I mean, I don't think seniors should have to pay, and just think we need to look at different ways of doing it. Just my opinion about it. So, what I think and what happens are two different things, and we'll just see what happens with it. Main story tonight. And Danielle says you can't make rich people pay just because they're rich. Well, sort of disagree. You sort of can make them pay because they're rich, whether they like it or not. Yeah, you can. So I mean, and whether we like it or not, yes, you can, because the government makes us do all kinds of crap we don't want to do. I mean, senior citizens that are 80 years old don't want to pay taxes because they can't afford it. But hey, the government may sort of disagree with that. I think you can set who pays what, and there'll be for things. I mean, is what it is. I mean, when you're successful in this country and we live in a capitalist system, sometimes you might need to pay a little more because of your success. Just the way I think. You know, not saying I'm right, but it's just the way I think. So what I'd like to talk about tonight a little bit now is Sherry Washington. So if you guys recall, a few months ago, this week from Rockdale was the one of the first one. Uh, uh, um, so just one more thing, Daniel. Maybe education doesn't need to be free. You know what I mean? That's my whole thing. Is I don't believe in everything should be free, and that's the thing about it. Free is not always good. That's just my opinion about it. So, but Sherry Washington, a few months ago, this week from Rockdale reported that Sherry Washington was going to lose her law license. And we had really good sources. We were the first ones to come out about this. We talked about it before the Citizen did. We talked about it before other people came and talked about it. And we were sort of cutting edge with it, saying what was going to happen. And I did have some people call me and questioning me doing the story. And was it appropriate? Was it premature? And I felt my sources were dead on, um, high level sources, and so so that's what I think. So, but it is official. The Georgia Supreme Court unanimously voted that Sherry Washington is disbarred. So Sherry Washington, who serves as Post 1 commissioner in Rockdale County, has been disbarred and is no longer allowed to practice law in the state of Georgia, as well as the other two places she was formerly licensed. She was formerly licensed in Texas and the District of Columbia, and she is no longer practicing law in those either, and she is no longer practicing law or allowed to practice law in the state of Georgia. And the Supreme Court voted unanimously to disbar Sherry Washington because of her actions with clients. That she had taken funds from these clients, failed to perform duties, failed to give refunds. Um, the court agreed with the bar that Sherry Washington, and this is just, she was not fit to practice law in the state of Georgia. That's what they said. Uh, 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 and and it doesn't affect her being a commissioner, right? But should it affect her being a commissioner? I'm someone who thinks it should. I was reached out to today by some citizens. They are going to approach the chairman. They are going to, and the Rockdale voter group has already started a petition asking for Sherry Washington to resign. And there's been a lot of people have signed that petition. And today, I noticed, there was a fury of people doing it too, and these people had all seen the news that Sherry Washington got disbarred, and so the action on that site started on the Rockdale Voter asking Sherry Washington to resign. So people have been going on there today and signing that petition. But there's a number of individuals who are going to approach the commission, approach the chairman, and they're going to specifically ask for Sherry Washington to resign. They're going to ask for the probate judge to appoint a member to the board once she resigns. Those individuals feel that someone who just ran for post the commission seat would be someone that they should uh, uh, um, put in that, someone who just ran for office. As far as that goes, you could go back 4 years and maybe uh, appoint somebody who ran back in 18. I think there's somebody on this show right now who ran at 18, who if they ask for people to actually apply to be appointed, I'm going to apply. Because if they're going to say the criteria is if you ran for that office before should be considered, then I definitely should be considered, because I actually ran in a general election, not a primary. So I actually have won a nomination of a major party and ran in the general election for that seat. So I think that trumps primary run. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm throwing that opinion out there heavily today. But no, Cuthbert does not appoint. Cuthbert's not the probate judge. It would be Gary Washington. So Gary Washington would appoint the position if Sherry Washington resigns, and then it is required that there be a special election. So this group actually wants Sherry to resign. They want to force her to resign. They want someone to be appointed in the interim. Then they want a special election to happen in November. And if they would do it that way, then and do it at that point instead of later on she resigns, let's say that later this fall or at the beginning of next year, then we wouldn't have to have a paid special election, because we already are going to have the general election this November. So if she would resign now, there would be time to make that appointment and to establish the special election and get everybody signed up to run in that special election in November. Bill, that's not accurate the way this works. This has been researched. We went to the legislature about it because this position is a county constitutional position. The probate judge actually is the individual who would do this, because the Board of Elections has already researched this with the Secretary of State, and the Republican Party had already done some research on it too. So it is the probate judge that would actually pick this position. So actually, if you guys remember back when Judge Cuthbert was appointed to the state court judge by Brian Kemp, then Brian Kemp made this supposed appointment of Gary Washington. That wasn't even a valid appointment, because the code actually, the Rockdale charter actually stated, because Gary Washington was the associate probate judge, he actually ascended to that position because that position actually has a chain of ascension. So that that Brian Kemp uh, appointment wasn't actually even legitimate, might we say, or necessary, because the Rockdale County Charter actually has, and state law has a line of succession for a probate judge if they leave office. It's actually the associate judge if there is one, and if there is no associate judge, then it's the clerk of the probate court who comes in after that. Uh, so Lisa, do I think she'll resign? No, I do not. But I'm just reporting what people are going to do. There are a group of individuals who are going to approach the Board of Commission. They are going to do this. And if Sherry doesn't resign, they have stated they are going to start a recall position. And and Sherry, by being disbarred and the acts that she did to get disbarred, those all qualify for valid reasons that she would be subject to recall. So when the chairman a few months ago said that it was separate, that that being what her professional and personal thing was separate from her political, that's not exactly true, because those professional things were in violation uh, and were reasons for subject for recall. So the reasoning that the court and the bar disbarred her actually are the justifications that if a citizens group wanted to recall her, those issues are recallable offenses. So just saying what some citizens say they're going to do, that they are going to first they're going to ask that she resign, and then if she doesn't, then they're going to start a recall petition, and those are very high standards. Uh, 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 so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. So, I think it'll be interesting turn of events to see what happens with that. So, um, you know what, Sherry Washington should resign because she is a disgrace to the county. She's a disgrace to the commission. Uh, but the thing about it, guys, let me tell you what I feel. I unfortunately just believe that if she runs in 2 years, she might get reelected, because just not enough people know what's going on or actually care to know what's going on. Uh, that's just the way it is. It's just what it is. I mean, this past election uh, with that was pathetic. With the lost being voted yes, I mean there were a good number of people voted no. 6,500 people voted against it. That's a good number. A good number voted against that SPLOST. But the fact that you had supposedly community leaders that supported that SPLOST were putting posts out there and were actually going out and promoting it. Some of these individuals claiming to be Christians and doctorates of ministry and all this stuff, promoting illegal acts, promoting individuals who had broken the law. So, I mean, with me, I mean, any of those guys who claim to be of theological background and work in these nonprofits and work in ministry, and they supported this. I got some strong words. I got some strong. It's called false prophets. Called they're not true believers, and I can say that. And it's more than my opinion when it comes to that, because I don't want to get into it today, but I can back that up with some scripture. Because if they believe the same Bible that I believe, then they got some trouble with the man upstairs for doing this and going against God's children. Just saying, they got some problems with the man upstairs. These people who claim to be teachers of the law, But remember back in Jesus' time, who were the worst ones? It was the Pharisee, the teachers of the law. They were the biggest violators of the law. So, I mean, in this county, biggest violators of the law are those who claim to be righteous. Jesus didn't come for those who are righteous. Jesus came for those who weren't perfect. And sorry, this is getting into a little bit of a sermon session, but it's just, a lot of those individuals who supported that SPLOST, they claim to be men of God. They claim to be clergy. They claim to be nonprofits. They are these individuals who hold these theological degrees. And you know what? To me, they're nothing because uh, they back the devil. That's just the way I see it. Boy, I got deep in here today, guys. Y'all got me fired up, got me deep, got me a little bit into my Babacostal uh, background here, doing some preaching. So you guys do know. I mean, I've not went in a while, but for dozen years though. So there, we go to the prison a couple of times a week, and at times, and do some ministry work. So just a little disappointed in some of these characters and their actions. So, but I want to talk about that. Just letting you guys know about the dreaded Sherry Washington. I think is what I'm going to refer to her as now, the dreaded Sherry Washington. And if us Rockdale County citizens want to put corrupt, low life criminals in office, I guess, what do you do? And then this thing about it. People would always talk about Doreen Williams and say, well, she's a nice lady. Well, no, she's not. She's not a nice lady. That's just, why are we going to pretend? She's not a nice person. You know what I mean? None of the three up there are nice people. So, why are we going to pretend? I'm not going to pretend anymore. They're all thugs and lowlives. Call it like it is. Thugs and lowlives. If you're not a thug or a lowlife, you don't have a chance to get elected in Rockdale County. You got to be a thug, a lowlife, one of the lowest of the lows. Sink to whatever lowest level you can. You'll have a great chance of getting elected to office in this county. Go out, commit crimes, beat somebody. You're a shoo-in Rockdale County. That's right, Marie Weathers. Same preachers that Oz treats to breakfast to her, regardless of, same exact thing. Take them to breakfast. George Kellichek, he's got the oath of office that they've all violated. So, guys, I mean, it's just something out there today. Something out there today. Out of control. Out of control. I'll tell you what, guys. I think we deserve better in this county, but I don't know if we'll do better for ourselves. And that's the thing about it, because we inflict ourselves with this. We inflict this punishment upon ourselves. Who wants to put this kind of torture and punishment on yourself that all we can do is elect low lives and scums to office? That's all we do. Low lives, scum, the lowest of the low. I might get in trouble over this one, guys, but do I care? No, I do not care, because I speaketh the truth, and it'll set me free, or it'll set me somewhere. Guys, I'm going to let y'all off here this evening. I'm a little bit crazy tonight. Don't know why, because I don't drink, but I might be high on the Holy Spirit tonight. So my Pentecostal roots coming out in me, guys. So, hey, let me let y'all off here. Thanks, everybody, for coming and watching me on the midweek report. I got all kinds of people watching, because I guess word has spread that Larry Cause lost his mind tonight, talking some crazy stuff. So that's the way it goes. We've got the lowest of the low representing us. Scum. And it needs to stop. I'll be back this Sunday, and I'm going to talk about taxes. Going to talk about elderly. Going to talk about what we need to do in not only Rockdale County, but the state of Georgia, and how you and I need to pressure our legislature, our lieutenant governor, and our governor to do the right thing by the citizens. Because let me tell you something: if you live long enough, each and every one of you are going to be one of those seniors who's not going to be able to afford to pay those property taxes and keep that measly piece of land that's underneath your feet. Each and every one of you will be in that position. So you're not just looking out for the seniors of today, you're looking out for the seniors of tomorrow. And if you live long enough, that's going to be each and every one of you. Okay, guys, if you don't mind, I'm getting off of here tonight. Thank you for coming on here. Thanks for indulging me for a little while. And I will see each and every one of you Sunday for the Sunday edition. And I might even be as feisty Sunday as I was tonight.